before fitting the cam cover is down in the recesses here, 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 and also here, 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 and there. You need to put some Honda Bond, and that's just to stop you getting any little leaks in the corner. In each of those spots, around here as well, and around there, there, and there. I can fit the cam cover. One thing you can do just to neaten things up is you can just grab one finger and just get rid of any excess there, and probably be a bit of excess around here. You don't need that. In there I'm not so bothered, but I could probably get a screwdriver and just take off some of that. You've got these little washers. These I think are the Honda OEM ones with the 4 little pepper pot on it, and this is one that came in the kit. Now there's no reason why I couldn't use these or these, but these are I think the Honda ones. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they are. So just going to place them all on there. I just wiped over the valve cover so it looks a bit nicer, and then I'm just going to place all these little washers on. Right, then I've got these just normal flange nuts that go over the top, and these 4 spaces here. I'm sure you can put almost whatever you want on, but I just use these dome nuts here which go on the 4 outer pegs. Right, and in a real effort to go legit, I'm going to do these up. These are meant to be 9.8 Newton meters, but then it goes down to 10. But I'm going to start off here in the middle, just because you never know with these things how tight to do them, and at least this way you've got some measure of doing it the right way. There we go. Now that's one. I'll just work in a kind of pattern. Middle ones first, and then going outwards, doing 10 Newton meters in each. One seal that is not coming with that kit is the VTEC side gasket. As you can see here with this little bucket, which is the mesh, catches any big bits going in and out. And well, it's not included, so luckily the one I've got on is fairly good nick, and it's going to have to be because it's got to go back on. And this is what I was saying about covering this lovely Skunk 2 little cover cap at the end. So this just goes on with 3 10mm bolts. Now we've got the alternator to go on, so you've got these 3 12mm bolts, all the same length, and then the alternator itself. Here you've got a kind of bigger side and a smaller side, and that corresponds to how it goes in there. It'll only go in one way, so you can't really mess it up, to the slot in the camshaft of the inlet. The only other thing to say is you have a seal here, and this seal looks a little bit past its best, and it's a really common leak path here, so I'm just going to get rid of that seal with a little screwdriver, and then I'm going to grab another seal and place it on there. So the old seal coming off, hopefully it's going to be straightforward, like so. There you go. It's the old one off, and I'll just go and grab the new one. Again, the seal was in the kit, so pretty comprehensive. Just make sure there's no crap, whatever in there. So just slide that on over here, and just flick it over. There you go. In place like that, you can kind of use a bit of the grease that's on there, oil I should say, it's on there to locate that. So then just need to place it in. Obviously this side is facing up. You can see I've handily got a black mark on there, which should correspond to the top of this. And I'll just locate it in the right way. So I've got a bigger side with a line, so you can see that's facing down. Okay, that's in there like that, and then we can just grab at least one of these 12mm and put the other 2 in below, but I can just about see a very faint mark on here, which corresponds to my correct timing angle, and that looks good to me. So that's why you should always put a line on there, saves you having to do the timing, but I do a video on that as well if you want to watch that. So now I can just about see the faint line. I'm just going to do that again, and just so in future it'll be even more clear. Bottom two you can do up with a ratchet, the top you have to do with a ring spanner, and it doesn't need to be mentally tight. One is towards the cam gears, and then it goes 2, 3, 4 of course. So 1 should be the longest lead, which it is. So you can just place that underneath here, like that. And then I probably will go ahead and just check that each of these spark plugs is tight. I've got this nice little spark plug tool. You can see it's Draper 1402. I'll just check that they're all tight, which they are. Just drop those down. So put that in there. And number 2, which is here. Again, just place that in here. That. Like that, and then place this little nice holder. See? And then number 3 should go here. And number 4 should go here. Okay, let's do that. It keeps everything kind of nice by running that little plastic retainer thing. These are NGK, I believe they're NGK R8, so that's what they are. To finish the whole thing off, I was running this fake kind of carbon thing, but I'm just going to run the standard silver original one, and I need to find some more of those domed nuts to go on top. But that's eventually what it's going to look like. And I need to buy myself a new valve cover and cap, oil cap, because the other one I'm using on the CRX at the moment. So, and the only other thing I've got is this horrible anodized red thing. So need to have some suggestions if anyone's got one, the best cap I can use. What I was going to say is I didn't actually remove any of this stuff below here, so it's worth just talking about what it all is. So you can see this is the radiator fan switch, so the thing that tells your radiator fans to come on, so flicks that relay. This here, the little single-ended one to the left, that tells you it's a sender unit for your gauges on your dash. This is also a engine temperature, a coolant temperature sensor, which is telling your ECU how hot the engine is. And this is obviously a water connection there, and this is the large water outlet, which has that little breather hose at the top there. So all of those I didn't actually take off, but I thought at this point I'll just tell you what it all is. And don't worry about this, this is just hanging loose. This is just for the oil pressure gauges I put on, which is additional to what would usually be on his engine. I'm just going to clean off this cylinder head a bit, because it's just seems to be covered in crap first. Just a bit of brake clean there. It's got this little heat shield that just installs in here, like so, and it's got these 2 little 10mm that hold it in. This is a Gates Micro V, and important numbers are 4PK, so that's how many ribs it's got, and then 788, which is 788mm length. So all you need to do is place the alternator bracket in the closest to the block setting, and you can just do that by your finger tight, like that, and then place it over here so it's on the CVD pulley, and then place it there, and then you need to apply some tension, and I'm just going to do that by using Jimmy. So what you need to do is you get Jimmy, place him in there, it's even got a little bit that you can pry against, and then you don't want to do too much. You just want it so you can't really take more than half a turn. So still got some movement in it, but it's not ridiculously tight. And then lock that off. You just check. You can see it's not ridiculously tight. If you need to tighten up, it's really easy to do anyway. So that's tight. And then there's a nut down here, which is a 14mm, and then you can just tighten that up as well. Final thing I need to do on this side is place in these little studs. You can see that you've got the short side there, and then the longer thread there. The longer thread faces outwards. These just get threaded up in here, and you can get kits of these, so you don't have to try and find your old ones. So I'm just going to thread each of these up, and then you can place your gasket on, which again I've got a new one in the kit. So the kit seemed to have every single seal I wanted, quite a few I didn't, which I'm just going to keep back for later. And apart from the VTEC solenoid gasket, which I didn't have of course, it's in there like that. And then you've got the gasket. You can only go in one way, so if you put it in the wrong way round like this and try and put it in, it doesn't even fit. And if I turn it round, I'm hoping, yeah, it fits. And just for effect, I'm going to get my exhaust manifold and place it on. This is a Skunk 2 Alpha exhaust manifold. It's already got the lambda sensor in, and I've heat wrapped it in the previous video. Of course you don't need to put this on here now, you would never get it in the car if it was, but just for effect I'm going to place it on there because it gets it off my garage floor, and I can feel like I've really made some progress. So just put a couple of nuts in there and that will secure it for now. And then we can of course grab my dipstick, which is actually quite new itself, place that in there like that, and that's at least visually that side of the engine complete. Then we just need to check each of these studs is tight to the block. That one wasn't, nor was that. Nor was that one. And I've got this thermal gasket I'm going to reuse. Place that in there like that. I just wiped it down and wiped the mating surface down as well. Because I've had the inlet and exhaust ports ported, you can see I've got the right profile in here. So I've actually cut that out with a razor blade, so don't want to do that again. And then we can just grab the inlet manifold. So this is the Skunk 2 Pro B18 C4 or GSR inlet manifold, and then it's also got an AEM fuel rail, standard injectors, and a Tomei fuel pressure regulator, which is rising rate, hence the little line going to there. On the front as well, we've got the Skunk 2 throttle body, and then you've got Denso map sensor. I forget who makes this TPS, throttle position sensor, but either way it's going back on, and so I just had a quick wipe down of it like that, and then I can just get the little nuts I've got here and just place them on. It comes from Tegiwa, and that is in the UK, but it's 13mm rather than 12 or 14, so watch out for that. Now they're tight, another thing I want to do is run this PCB, and so I can just run that down here, and this just goes straight into the top of the case up at here. There, like that. Then we've got the idle air control valve, or IACV. You can see this is quite an old seal in there, so I'm just going to get a little flathead screwdriver and then just pluck that out. It's a little figure of 8 one, so that's coming out like that. And in the kit a new one came, so again just place that in there like that, and it's got, so that's how that should look. And then we've got these 2 long bolts. These aren't the original Honda ones, by the way. So this goes in here like that. I've cleaned off the surface on here, the mating surface. Here's 1, here's 2. So I gave a little note to myself here. So it's a coolant mid hard pipe, so it's good, as I've probably forgotten. So I can just place that in, undo the little Jubilee and place it into this mid pipe there. So we've got a little bit more to do in terms of running these pipes for the coolant. Just pull that down to here. Okay, and then we've got this pipe that goes to the inlet manifold. I can just get slipped over there like so, and then again just run this little clip that's in there like that. Then we've got this little pipe here, which is going from, if you were looking down on it from the top of the engine bay on the left hand side, but as you see it's on the right hand side because we're looking at the back of the engine, in that side. And this gets led round to the throttle body, and this pipe I have here goes from the top of the coolant neck. So that's kind of highest point of the system. There we go. And then it goes to the other side of the throttle body. There we have it. There's the exhaust manifold, and you can see that's obviously the front of the car as you look at it. Top of the coolant neck goes down here and goes to the inlet manifold, that side, and then out of the inlet manifold comes here to the right hand side of the idle air control valve. Left hand side of the idle air control valve goes down and goes to the mid pipe in the connection pipe. Standard Honda OEM cap is going on. Found some nuts here I must have been using before. These are just nylock nuts, and again I'm just going to nip them all up, and I think do them to 10 meters again. It seems sensible. Okay, that's the engine complete. Now I just need to place it off this onto the gearbox, obviously putting the clutch and the flywheel on first. But in terms of the engine assembly, this is done. Obviously when I place it in the car I won't be having the exhaust manifold on, and that is basically how you put together a B18 C4 during the lockdown period.